Hi, this is Daniel from Camper Iceland and Mjolnir Camper. Today we're going to talk about electricity while camping somewhere, going off the grid or anything like that. Now, the first thing I have to say about electricity is, do we really need electricity? Is the answer really yes? I mean, having spent over 20 years in the army and been through quite some training, the first thing that comes to my mind when we talk about off-grid or getting into some situation is to find shelter and water. And once you have these two things, I would almost say if you're not in a war zone, you can relax. Because you will not need food for several days, you can survive. I mean, it's the logic of three. You can survive without oxygen for 3 minutes. You can survive without water for 3 days. You can survive without food for 3 weeks. I mean, that's just some kind of rule. I mean, these are the most important things. So when we talk about going off the grid, is electricity really a necessity? Is it more leisure? I mean, what's the necessity behind electricity? Is it to be able to call somebody? Is it to charge your smartwatch that basically dies every day and doesn't tell time? Would it be smarter to use a solar watch or battery-driven watch that can stay on for years? This is just something that you will have to decide on your own if it's really necessary or not. However, if you are like making videos or charging your phone and you're traveling and you want to have electricity, these are the coolest things we can think of. So without further ado, let me show you 4 different types of generators, or let's say 4 different methods to create electricity while off the grid. First off, let's create electricity with fire. Yeah, you heard me right. You can cook something, boil a coffee, make a hamburger, and at the same time create energy. Let me show you. Here is a nice set by a company called BioLite. Let's check what we have inside these bags. So this little fellow here is, first of all, it's a power bank. So it has like 3 different types of LED lights that or indicators that show you different things. First of all, the unit is fully charged, which means you can now, just for a second, no, you can now plug in some device in this USB port and charge it. You can actually use it right now to charge your cell phone. And another thing that this battery powers, which is by the way also chargeable with a cable. There's a USB-C underneath here. You can charge this. But once you use it, you can turn on the ventilator. Hear this? This is the ventilator that you use to create the fire, so that you can blow air into this unit here, because without air there is no fire. And the third indicator is, once you have lit your fire, you can see how much heat it's generating and hence how much electricity is being generated. Let's turn this off. So it's easy to use. You put this fellow in here. Then from underneath, you'll notice that one of these little legs actually keep this orange fellow where it needs to be. And once you have unfolded this is the standalone unit that you can create fire with and create energy. The rest are optional features. For example, a little light that you can plug into the USB so that you can actually see something during the night. That's quite nice. Another feature is this pot where you can either cook some food, boil some water, or with this guy make some coffee. Inside of this lid is a little container that you can use to drink out of or eat out of, and this fellow here where you can pour out of once this is on top here. And this is one of the gadgets. And last but not least, there is this grill. And this grill is quite smart. It has little legs so that it doesn't flip around or fall over. And it has a nice lid, which is practical also because of the smell. Because it's brand new, you obviously don't see what I mean by smell, but once this is all used, and even though you clean it a little bit, it will always smell like a barbecue, and with this lid it minimizes a little bit the smell. In here you can open up this guy to fill in more wood while making a barbecue, and you can see that you can put, like, I have rather large hands, but you can put like 120-200 gram patties of a hamburger. You could probably make 3 of them, so it is quite big. Yeah, and so you can make a barbecue and create fire with this wonderful device from BioLite. The next thing we are going to talk about is portable solar panels. Many times you see little power banks with a little solar panel. It takes about 7 days to charge your phone, or let's say 7 days to charge the power bank, and then you can use it like once or twice to power up your phone. I mean, that's something, but if you want a little bit more electricity, let me show you a portable 20-watt system. There are many systems out there. We are not sponsored by any of them, so we are just basically explaining if it's worth your while or not. But when it comes to the product, you will just have to check on Google whatever is best for you and works for you and is cheapest where you live. So here you can see what we decided to get. This is a foldable system that we have in our bag, and it comes with a few cables, and you can see it has like 3 solar panels, and it generates like 20 watts of electricity, which is quite amazing for this little system. Now, what I use in addition to it is a power bank. I use this power bank from Baseus is the name. It has 30,000 milliamperes, and what was quite important for me was to buy a power bank that you can actually charge with the solar panel, but at the same time use to charge your phone. Sometimes you will find power banks that work in a way that as soon as you connect them to power to charge the power bank, it automatically stops charging your phone. But this power bank doesn't do that. It actually shows on the little round display here, once you charge it, how many or how much electricity is flowing into the power bank and how much is flowing out of the power bank. Now that's really great. I can charge my iPhone and a watch, and the power bank will probably go down to 92%. It took me like 2-3 hours with the panel to recharge the power bank fully. So in my opinion, actually this solar panel charges your device as quick as connecting it with a USB connected to a 2.1 ampere plug at home or in your car or whatever. So it is quite great. I attach it to my back, so while I'm hiking, this can hang down my back and actually charge. And having the power bank with me, I can like charge my iPhone 10 times, which means it would give me electricity for like 10 till 12 days anyway, if I wanted to charge my phone only. I bring a few cables with me, USB-C, micro USB, and the typical iPhone plugs, just in case somebody needs electricity. So this is definitely something I recommend. This is really great. I've charged my phone thousands of times with this setup. Really great. The third system that I want to introduce to you is quite similar to the last one I showed you that I carry in my rucksack, but it's quite bigger and probably not really suitable for carrying around if you don't really need to, but it is a cool system. So this is called Yeti 200X. It's from Gold Zero, powered with a lithium battery. And let me explain what this system can do. So this cool solar generator from Gold Zero, the model Yeti 200X, based on lithium, can do quite a lot of things. It has the 12 volt plugs like in a car, and the good thing about it is you always have to activate it if you want to use it. So if the light comes on, these guys are actually working because it doesn't want to use energy while it's not doing anything. So same goes of course for the USB. It has normal USBs, or it has the new generation called micro USB. I can charge my MacBook Air with it. You also can charge the solar power bank with a cable through this fellow here. It has a built-in 120 watt inverter, which is of course more than enough to power things like laptop chargers, cameras and stuff like that. And let me tell you, this guy has a lot of energy. I don't know how many times I can charge my iPhone, 20-30 times before emptying this guy. The inverter, same thing, turn it on here and you have 220 voltage. Here in the States I have seen that these Gold Zero Yeti 200s have a 110 plug on this side. Now if I turn this guy around, ventilator and an input for any kind of optional equipment. There is 12 volt cables for the car. It comes with a 220 voltage or 110 charging system that you can use to plug it in. And yeah, you can plug in the solar panel. Now the bad news is that if you have owned solar panels, you're probably used to a different kind of plug. Yeah, this is a solar panel, a normal solar panel, and you're probably used to seeing these plugs. And more bad news, if you try to find an adapter for these two guys to go into the 9mm plug, it's basically impossible. It's sold out. You can't find it anywhere. But if you really need to or want to use other solar panels than the ones from Goal Zero, you can buy these guys in probably Walmart and in Europe in all kinds of stores that have car stuff. This is basically a 12-volt charger where you can decide how many voltage you want, and it comes with a lot of plugs. And one of these plugs actually missing here is this 9mm plug. This is exactly the plug that fits in here. And what you could do now is you could strip this cable and put the plus and the minus to the correct wire, and voila, you would have made your own adapter. This is a hack if you need to. But if not, I recommend that you buy these solar panels, because the original solar panel comes with the 9mm plug. This one is 50 watt. It also comes with another input. So basically with this system here, the 50 watt solar panel from Goal Zero, and this solar system here is perfect, because what you do is when you go camping with your truck camper and you have it standing somewhere, I think it's called backboning, you can use this guy to charge your phones, etc., etc., without draining the battery of your camper. And then once the sun gets out, you simply charge it with this fellow here. Once you're driving, you can charge it, or if you come to a campsite, you can fully charge it. Yeah, like I said, the charging cable with the correct plug comes with this system from Goal Zero. Now, just to show you how I'm organized, I carry it in this bag that I bought separately. I have all kinds of cables with me, and all kinds of plugs, so that if anything happens, I have all the different cables that I need. Also on the side here, if I'm traveling, for example, to England, we have the English plug, and there's this guy, I don't even know where this fits. And then we have some kind of stuff like this. This is the Swiss plug, this is the German plug. That's all in this bag. Also in this bag, used to be a bag out of a Hummer, we have the charging for smaller batteries and all kinds of adapters and a bunch of batteries. So with this system here, you charge everything that you carry along to make videos. I'm really fond of this system. So the fourth thing that we are gonna look at is something that probably everybody knows. It's a normal gasoline-driven generator. Why gasoline? Because you probably get gasoline everywhere you go. We have a gasoline truck out of the same reason, because where we travel, it's easy to get gasoline. Now, many people ask me, why don't you use diesel trucks? And yeah, diesel is not a problem until it gets really cold. And where we come from, it gets really cold. So we have a gasoline truck and gasoline generator. Now, there are different types of generators. Let me show you the difference between the two things that we use. So, first and foremost, extra inverter generator. Now, the difference between these guys and the regular ones are they don't make as much noise, which is kind of great when you go to a campsite. It also has many good features. For example, it has a 12-volt system that you can, with clamps that you can connect to a battery. So you can actually charge a battery with it. It has the 220 outlets. Well, if you're in the States, it's a 110, but here it's a 220. And there is a button for economy mode, which means that the engine idles once it's not in use, just that you don't have a lot of noise. The nice thing about the extra inverter generator is also that you can see how much gasoline is in there. It's like 3/4 now. Also, you can open and close the air inlet, which is kind of great because normally the generators that only have like a breathing hole, you will always smell the gasoline. But once you close this, you actually can't smell gasoline, which is kind of great if you want to carry this around in your car. So we put this guy on, this guy on, and this guy on, and it's not that cold. This is life. This was like a little movie blooper because you could see on the generator the oil light came on and the generator turned off. Now the generator is pretty new, so I already put oil in it, but maybe it sunk down and it needs a bit more. It hasn't been leaking or anything like that. But this shows you, I mean, okay, the solar things it can break when it falls on the floor, or there could be any kind of trouble. But the good thing about the solar system is, as you can see now, it doesn't run out of gasoline and it doesn't have an oil light that comes on and then nothing works anymore. But anyways, I'm gonna put some oil into the generator and start it up again. So you have to loosen 2 screws and then pull off this lid. The screwdriver actually comes with it. Then you need to remove this dipstick, and you can see here, you can actually fill this up until it leaks. This is the side of the generator, with a little access also to look inside if you want to fix anything about it. Now, it uses 15W40, and that's what we're gonna put in there. Okay, so I put oil in it. Everything is still on, as I can see, pretty good. So let's start it up. When I hit the economy switch, the noise goes a little bit down because the engine is now idling. And I mean, if I walk a bit further away, this is all you can hear, which is quite great. Okay, so now I've pulled out my old generator, which is a Stanley 3100 basic. It creates, I think, 3000 watts. The Extreme is 2000. And now I'm going to show you the difference between them, you know, how loud they are, etc. Okay, first off, let's check the size. Well, it's not really fair because the Stanley creates like 1,000 watts more, but it is also twice as big. There are also smaller ones that only create 1,000, which are even smaller than the Extreme, but at least you see the difference. I mean, the Stanley isn't a big one either. It's just like one of the smaller Stanleys you can actually buy. And for the test, I use this heater here that has 1,000 watts. This is what I said in earlier videos. You can always check on your equipment how much watt it uses. Now let's see how this sounds. If you ask me, it's not a big difference. The Extreme reacts a bit more to the 1000 watt usage. The Stanley barely sounds the same all the time, so it is a bit more, a bit louder, a bit heavier to carry. But now you have a good idea on the difference between a normal generator and what they call an inverter generator. It's a bit more silent, but as soon as you really use it, it's not that silent. It's at least not as silent as the solar. Yeah, as you can hear, I think I'm starting to like the solar panels more and more. I wish you could have seen when I started up the Stanley. I haven't used the Stanley for like half a year, maybe a year. Wow, that smoke that came out of the back. So talking about living off the grid and being somewhere or hiding or anything, you don't hide with the generator. You can hear this miles away. You can see the heat with the heat goggles. You can smell it. you run out of gas, you run out of oil. But of course, if you want to stay somewhere for a long time and you need to generate 220, or you need to use a power drill or some great tools, generators are super. But when it comes to camping, my favorite is definitely the solar system. So to put it in perspective, we're gonna look at each system one more time. But I would say all of them serve a certain purpose, a good purpose. The purpose is of course differs heavily. If you only need a little bit of electricity, then the fire stuff is perfect. The fire stuff is super to boil water. I like it because it has like small things like cones and small sticks that you can find and carry, and maybe put a bit in a box or in a bag and carry with you. With a fire you can generate electricity, plus you can cook. That's really great. If you go hiking and want to create some energy for your power bank or phone, the foldable small solar panels are really great. They're light, they're easy to carry with you. You can put them into the dash of your car. Basically, you can use this all the time, which is also a very good tip. Use these things. I mean, use them at home, use them at work. Use them for smaller trips. So when you go on this off-the-grid crazy trip where you need to go fishing or hunt for your own food and sleep in a crazy surrounding or something, that you know how these things actually work. So we saw the difference between the inverter generator and the normal generator. You could hear the sound. I hope this was clear in the iPhone video. We looked at a solar generator from Goal Zero, the Boulder 50 solar panel with the Yeti 200X with the lithium. We looked at the portable X-Storm. Yeah, maybe we could also flip this around a little bit, because underneath you see it has two different USB plugs, and it also tells you how much ampere is actually being generated at the moment, 0.1 with a power bank. And we looked at the BioLite system, this package. So if I haven't done so already, please subscribe to our channel. Give it a thumb up if you liked it. If you didn't like it, add a comment below. Don't put this guy. I don't like this guy. Why does YouTube even have this guy? It should only have this guy. Positive psychology, let me tell you. No, I mean, write in the comments if there's anything you want to know, or if you didn't like anything, something I said, or something. I can be quite straightforward. I hope you liked the video. Stay tuned.